Oh, you best believe there's spoilers and spillings.
Oh, there's spare spoilers and spinnings?
Yes.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, and there's also swearing, spoilers, and opinions.
Ah, very nice.
Hello, and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDB top 250 films, and we let you know whether they were worth staying indoors for or going outside. Now, what are we watching this week?
I will tell you that this week we are watching The Maltese Falcon.
Ah!
Is it Falcon or Falcon?
Falcon.
Falcon?
Falcon. Falcon sounds wrong.
The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah.
Especially because you got too many all.
You must be Falcon joking.
Oh, Jesus. Come on. Okay, well, goodbye, all of those listeners who just deleted the episode. Okay, now this film, The Maltese Falcon, came out in 1941, and it is number 224 on the IMDb list at the time of recording, which is when, Jordan?
Now.
Right fucking now. Okay, Jordan, have you seen The Maltese Falcon? Oh. The Maltese Falcon? No. There's something wrong.
There's going to be an issue here.
I'm going to say Maltese Falcon.
The Maltese bird.
Okay. Have you seen that bird before?
I haven't, no.
Okay. Nor have I.
I think it's just like, as a rule, we can say any film that's earlier than 1950s I haven't seen.
I'm trying to think about the amount of films that I might have seen before even 1960, other than for this podcast.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Other than for this podcast, there's very little.
Disney films.
Yeah, but what Disney films are
Snow White.
pre-50s? Oh, really?
Yeah, Robin Hood. Robin Hood? I don't know. But like loads, Cinderella.
Okay, all right.
Snow White was the first animated feature film.
Oh, shit.
Fun fact.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was like, I want to say 1939, but I'm not entirely sure.
Snow White, that's the one with the dwarves, right?
The little guys, yeah.
Which one's Sleeping Beauty? Or is she the same person?
Completely different one, man.
What? So what's Sleeping Beauty?
But they clearly they both have the non-consensual intimacy. Where so you got Snow White.
Yeah.
And
Snow White's right. Wait, hang on. Let me just picture my Disney princesses. So Snow White's the one that has like the black bob.
Yeah, with the pale skin.
Yeah.
The red lips.
Okay. So what does Sleeping Beauty look like?
She's I'm gonna say blue dress. I think blue dress.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you got Sleeping Beauty and then you got Cinderella, who in my head look really similar. But I'm probably fucking up. I know that one of them is definitely blonde with a pink dress, and then you got blue dress, like sky blue dress, and she's not brunette, but she's not blonde.
Oh shit! I just googled it. You're right. I was so ready to call you out on that.
Show me. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, nice. How do we get onto princesses? Disney. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, old films. There are old princess Disney films.
Yes, there are.
Cool. So, what do you think the Maltese Falcon is?
I'd really like it to be something about the beginning of the Maltesers industry.
So
industry company. I don't know who made Maltesers. Is it Nestle or is it Dairy Milk?
Is it Dairy Milk? Big Dairy Milk?
Big Dairy Milk?
No. It was Nestle. Pretty sure.
Cadbury's, right?
No, it's
Nestle.
Mars. It's Mars. Yeah.
Mars.
Because
Okay.
in the Mars planets, you get all the other ones.
Right.
don't
Okay.
you?
So
Yeah.
then Maltesers. What if like the Maltese Falcon was the guy who stole? Oh no, that's like vulture, isn't it? That's the wrong thing. I'm thinking of the wrong aviatory.
What's
animal.
that kind of bird of prey? The wrong bird of prey.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when you were saying that it was started like something to do with Maltesers, I was picturing that like in the manufacturing process of making Maltesers, you have a job that can only be done by falcons, where they have to carry in their claws, in their claws. You know what I'm saying?
They have the little compartments that open up
in their feet doors.
with the little hoovers.
Yeah. And they suck up all the Maltesers and they fly over. They go, and they fly over. They drop them down in the other places. Like, I'm picturing down a mountain,
right?
Which is kind of silly because you could just make a slide and roll down all the Maltesers down the slide.
Idiots.
But
Why?
but
Two
if
birds with one stone. I don't know.
Two
There's
birds
a
with
joke
one
in there
Maltesers?
somewhere.
I don't know. It's something. I get you. Well, let's just fucking go watch the film.
Okay. And we're back with a couple of fast thoughts. Black and white.
San Francisco.
Smart talking.
PIs.
Slapping.
And you better like it if you get slapped.
Bad dads.
Really? No, that's my one.
Yeah, no,
but there were no
it-
dads in this film.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to keep it snappy. I can explain it if you want, or we can move on.
Okay, no. Burning boats.
Smoking.
Sweet lighters.
Carrying, like, pistols and generally guns. Guns!
Being a lightweight.
Detectives.
I did say PIs.
Yeah, they're two different things.
Okay. Oh, well,
No,
I mean,
they're
you
not.
would know, wouldn't
Okay,
you?
all right.
Let's call it.
Let's call it there.
Oh, shit cops.
Shit cops?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, where?
Okay. You guys, we're about to do the 15-second pitch. And now what this is something that you can participate in. And I'll tell you about it probably at the end of the episode. So the 15-second pitch, I'm going to try and summarize the film in 15 seconds, which is going to be really hard to do this time. All right, Jordan, let's start the timer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, I was ready a second ago and now I'm not. But give me 2 seconds and now I'm ready again.
Working with amateurs.
3, 2, 1, go.
There's a guy, his partner gets killed, and they're like, okay, who fucking killed him? It turns out that the whole plot is about this bird, this little statue from Malta. It was to do with kings and shit. And they're like, okay, who has this statue? There are people playing silly buggers, and it's a fake.
16 seconds, 0.45.
I didn't need to say the silly buggers, did I?
Well, I mean, you were still off by a fair amount. 60, I mean, seconds count.
Yeah, okay.
And,
but
yeah,
to
you
be
were
fair,
off.
they were playing silly buggers.
They were
because
playing silly buggers.
There's a lot of silly buggers that happen, but that don't really add to the plot that much, I don't think.
No. I mean, we can talk about that, or we could just go into beefs if you'd like.
Well, Jordan, I'd really like to do a synopsis first.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
I know, nor do I, but it's the format of the show, and it's what people are used to.
Okay. Well, yeah, sure. Okay. Do you want to start?
Yeah, let's go for it. We're in San Francisco, and it's 1941, so the film is set in the year that it was released. Actually, 1940, because there's a reference to a year later on in the film.
You need like a buffer year,
Oh, of course, you know.
just in case shit goes down.
Of course, yeah, you know.
Like a war.
Well, that's a good point.
You never know.
you
never know.
You just don't know. All right. So there's a private investigators agency, and it's called Archer and Spade. Yeah.
Well remembered.
Spade and Archer, or Archer and Spade?
I think it's Archer and Spade.
It sounds Spade and
It
Archer.
should be Archer and Spade because Archer and
Really?
Spade sounds a lot better than Spade and Archer.
No, I think Spade and Archer sounds better.
Spade and Archer sounds like a artist name or a place.
But Spaden would be like Speden, like
Yeah,
like
it would be. You're
Spade,
right. Yeah.
Spade and Archer.
No, it'll be a dive bar and it'll be apostrophe N. So it'll be Spade and Archer.
Okay, but
We're just heading down to the Spade and Archer for a couple.
So were you Cockney or were you Australian there?
Both.
And what do people drink at the Spade and Archer? The fucking turbo.
Turbo Shandies.
They drink turbo shandies.
I was telling Kieran about how tonight I'm getting on the Turbo Shandies because it's my friend's birthday.
Lads.
So for those of you that don't know, a Turbo Shandy is a half pint of beer, half of a Smirnoff Ice and a shot of vodka.
Classy.
Actually tastes just like a shandy though, that's the thing.
But you just get drunker.
Yeah, you get white girl wasted. It's his 25th birthday, so I think it's allowed.
To get white girl wasted
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
25th birthday. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, back to the synopsis.
Shout out Charlie Blows. Happy birthday to you.
Who else is going to be there at his birthday?
Oh, just Charlie Blows' friends.
Woo!
Everyone wants to be friends with Charlie.
Okay. All right. We're in 1941.
I just realised how much of a reference to cocaine his name is.
Have you not ever realised that
No,
before?
that's literally only just dawned on me.
Because that was one of the first things
Charlie
I thought of.
Blows, wow.
Does he?
No, I don't think he does.
Okay, well, credit to him. But does he suck dicks, though? You can't testify.
I can't testify.
Okay,
He hasn't
that's
sucked my dick,
Okay.
and I haven't seen him suck a dick. So
I mean, if you haven't seen someone suck a dick and they haven't sucked your dick, then
it's the Schrodinger cat situation. The Schrodinger's Dick sucking.
If a dick gets
If
sucked
you
in the
open
woods,
the box and there's a man inside sucking another man off. But you just don't know if that's going to be in the box until you open it.
I was gonna go if a dick gets sucked in the woods, but no one's there to see the dick get sucked. Does it really get sucked?
The sound of a one dick sucked.
Again, San Francisco, 1941.
Wow, we really didn't get very far.
Okay, it's Spade and Archer, and they have their detective agency, their PI agency, and this woman comes in and she's like, "Hey, my sister, I haven't been in touch with her, and she's with this horrible old man, and I want you to find this bloke and to threaten him and to tell him to piss off so that my sister and I can be friends again and that I can bring her back to New York." So they're like, "All right, pay us some money," and she pays them too much money. But we don't know it's too much money because we don't know how much PIs
we haven't got to that point of the film yet.
No. But I may as well give you the details because I don't want to go back on myself.
Okay.
They pay him too much money, which they later find, which he later reveals is suspicious. So,
cut a long story short, one of them goes to tail the man and
Thank
he
you.
ends up dead. But both of the men end up dead. Am I correct? I got a little bit confused.
When you
about
say
that,
when
to
you
be
say
honest.
both of the men,
sorry, yeah. So the man that was being followed and the man doing the following both end up dead.
and they're like, "What the fuck? I guess these murders are linked." So you've now got Sam Spade, yeah,
Right? Yeah.
So Sam Spade is the remaining detective,
Yeah.
and the whole film is about Sam Spade trying to work out what the fuck's going on. Now he goes to the woman whose sister is the one who was, she was like, "Can you follow this guy?" So you've got Bridget, not Bridget, Bridget apparently, Bridget O'Shaughnessy, and she's used a whole barrel of fake names because it turns out she's got nothing to do with the whole following some creepy old man is actually bullshit. That's a fake story.
Yeah.
Because the real story here is there is an idol, a Maltese Falcon. There is like this little statuette that's maybe like the size of a 12-inch sub, right? And and it's really pretty and
A
stuff.
foot long.
Yeah, if you will, yes. And it's the whole deal with this thing. It was like to show the allegiance to Spain back in the day, in like the fucking 1400s or something.
During the Crusades.
During the Crusades, Malta would send a pretty little falcon with gemstones and shit to Spain to be like, "You guys are the tits," right?
Yeah.
But now, so these are like proper valuable, and turns out that Bridget and Thursby was the name of the guy who got shot. The person who was being tailed. Thursby and Bridget are trying to recover this Maltese Falcon.
Yes.
Then you got Mr. Gut. Is that his name?
Cairo.
Oh, so you got Mr. Cairo.
Yeah.
Who is a foreign man who comes in and he's just basically interested in this idol.
Yeah.
he's just another guy.
Possibly one of the strangest like characters I've ever seen in a film.
And when he's revealed, it's like, "Hey, do foreign music. Hello, I speak with an accent that is not from a particular country, which is very useful."
Which is most likely to change throughout the film and not really make any sense whatsoever.
But it's a cop-out because he's got several different passports, and so he's not pinned down to a particular nationality.
yeah, we never know.
Okay, so
Then there's also the fat man who goes, it's like Gutman or, Gut, Mr. Big Gut.
Mr. Gutman, I think Mr. Gutman. I think his name.
Yeah, the
But
fat guy.
Yeah, Mr. Fat, or the fat guy. He's a fat dude.
Yeah, he kind of resembles like Churchill, where he wears like the bowler hat at one point. But basically, so Mr. Gutman is like a big old English businessman.
Is he English?
Yeah, he was definitely very English.
Okay.
Because he keeps on talking about how good the pound is.
Ah,
Which obviously very much cements this film in the past.
yeah. Politics.
Brexit. There's like a bit where he's like, and he was going to pay him in dollars, no less, not even pounds.
So this Mr. Gutman man, he's like the guy who really wants to pay all the big bucks for this
Yeah.
Maltese Falcon. And so he's hired Bridget O'Shaughnessy,
Yeah.
and he's hired fucking Mr. Thursby, whatever his name is.
Yeah, and he's sort of working with Mr. Cairo.
To
They seem
get-
to be sort of in allegiance together
to
to
get
get
this-
this Falcon.
Yes. What's difficult about where we started and where we need to get to is that in the interim, there's a lot of like,
Nothing.
well, there's not nothing. There's a lot of back and forth of like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
So Sam Spade's getting in like everyone's pants, including Bridget O'Shaughnessy and Miles Archer, his old partner's his wife.
Yeah.
So he wants to get with the widow as well. Is there someone else?
No, that's it.
His assistant?
His assistant, yeah. He's
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he's calling her darling and angel and stuff all the time, and she's rolling his cigarettes and shit.
And as well as that, we've also got these two legit detectives who are somewhat like, one of them seems to hate Sam, the other one seems to like Sam. And they're just constantly in and out. And the whole thing, like the middle chunk of the film, is basically everyone getting their story straight while Sam tries to figure out what's going on and trying to figure out who he can and can't trust. And, you know, like it just, there's lots of like, oh, I'm going to trust this person. Oh no, something else happened now and fuck you. And like,
because Sam is getting accused of his partner's murder by the police. And then he doesn't know if he can trust Bridget because it turns out that she's this undercover person who likes to find idols and stuff.
He figures out quite quickly that she lied to him about Thursby. So he's already right at the start, like, my partner's dead and you gave us the wrong information. He's not very bitter about it, which is quite strange. But
no.
Yeah, like right from the start, he's sort of like put on the off with her. But at the same time, after having met her for like 2 days, is now in love with her, or maybe not in love with her. And maybe she's in love with him or not.
I don't care.
Yeah, we can get onto that.
So at the end of the film, the way it bloody ends is that you've got a boat that comes into San Francisco, and it turns out that the Maltese Falcon is on this boat. Sam receives the Maltese Falcon from the captain of the ship, who just got killed by the fat man and whatever. And so he gets this parcel, and Sam's like, okay, I've got to put this in the post, or I've got to put this in the cloakroom and send a ticket off to my offices or something like that.
Yeah.
And just so it's there for safekeeping. All right. Then he goes over to, ends up having a meet up with Gutman and stuff. So you got Gutman, Cairo, Bridget O'Shaughnessy, and what's his fucking name? That guy, Sam Spade, and also Gutman's henchman, little boy henchman.
Wilmer,
yeah. Who, when I say little boy, he's probably 23. But
they refer to him as the boy,
because
even though he's definitely an adult.
Yeah, but he's younger than everyone else, and he looks a bit babyface.
Yeah.
So you got all them lot, and they're all chatting about what's going on, where the bloody hell the idol is, and shit like that.
Yeah.
Turns out they get the idol in, and they realise it's a fucking fake.
Yeah, because some guy like turns up in Sam's office like half shot, and he has the idol somehow, and they explain that. But to be honest, I kind of like drifted out a bit when they were explaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was kind of like there's too many people now, and I'm a bit confused. I don't really know what's going on.
But the idol ends up it ends up in Gutman's hands.
Yes.
And he's trying to chip off...
Going at it with some tweezers because nothing's happening.
Yeah, because the
idol's like enameled with some sort of black plastic shit that's supposed to stop people from thinking that it's actually worth something.
So he's trying to chip off this enamel thing.
The enamel, and that's not happening.
It's just made of lead.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, I guess I got to go to fucking... Wait.
No, Keiran. He's in pieces for about a minute. And then he's like... Oh, well, okay, 17 years. What's another year? Let's go.
Yeah. And Mr. Cairo pisses off with him.
Yeah.
So we're left with Sam Spade, and he's with Bridget O'Shaughnessy. And they're like, well, okay, well, what do we do now? And she's like, well, I'm in love with you. And he's like, well, you killed my partner, so I'm going to send you to prison.
Yeah.
Which is pretty honourable, and that's how the film ends.
I mean, that's how the law works.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, it's kind of nice.
Not really about honour.
Yeah, and he's like, you'll do your time, and then we'll see you afterwards.
Yeah,
I'll wait for you, but we all know he's not going to wait for anyone because he's in everyone else's pants.
And why would she want to come back to him after 20 years when he's put her in jail?
To be fair, yeah. I mean, maybe there's an element of like treat them mean to keep them keen, but like that's the ultimate treat them mean to keep them keen, isn't it?
That's very mean.
Send him to jail for 20 years.
20 years of mean.
Yeah. And she's just pining for him the whole time.
It's like putting someone in a box for 20 years and then hoping that they'll like you afterwards.
I mean, that's literally what it is, isn't it? Okay. Well, that's how the film ends.
Yeah. No.
Let's do some beefs, though. The first thing that pissed me off was that Bridget O'Shaughnessy, when she has her first fake alias, which is Miss Wonderly, she comes in and she's got this fake... Well, no, she's got a fox scarf on around her neck.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay... I'm just not a fan of having... I'm not a fan.
We know you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan of having those animals around people's necks. I don't really like it.
That's your personal preference. I think like
Most of the world's on
can't
board
really be
though.
angry at a 1940s film for having that in it. It's not the same. It wasn't the same back then. People didn't have the same issues.
Yeah, but we could say the same thing
We weren't
about
as aware.
because we're also going to talk about gender roles and stuff like that, like we do in most other films and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, we're going to have a go about that. We may as well have a go. We may as well have a go at everyone's attitudes from back in the day and say how it's not the same standard as we like it today.
I just wonder if it gets a bit tedious just listening to us complain about the same things.
Yeah, but that's what the show is.
I suppose.
That's the point of the show.
You are right. Right at the end of the film, he's calling the police to let them know that Wilma's like on the loose, basically. And there's like a pause where he's like, "Yes, very." Like where you can clear, like he said, like is he dangerous? Yes, very, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like that's what's implied.
Yeah.
Wilma does nothing in this film except from be incompetent and have his guns taken off of him. And at no point does he actually appear to be at all dangerous whatsoever.
That's a good point. Although he does like a good frown.
The first time we're introduced to him is when he's following Sam.
Yeah.
And he literally bumps into every single person that walks past him and is basically walking on Sam's heels.
He's not very discreet, is he?
Like, Sam is obviously quite a good PI, and he probably would have like picked up anyone that was following him.
Yeah.
But Wilma did not make it very difficult.
No, he's hardly Mr. Subtle, is he?
Yeah.
No.
It reminded me actually of this thing that I used to do. So I used to go to like a shopping centre in Essex called Lakeside. You might know it.
Oh yeah. That is a big old shopping centre.
It's a big shopping centre, yeah. And if I was like waiting for friends or something,
yeah.
This is obviously having parents that were detectives. I used to just like play follow, where I would just pick a person and just follow them.
Or any random stranger?
Yeah, any person, and I'd just be like pretending I'm like a spy or something, and just sort of following them around, like with the newspaper, cut out the eyes. Like,
okay,
is that weird?
I don't think it. Well, how old were you?
I want to say like maybe 14, something like that.
Is this when you had your massive afro?
Yes.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I would have. Thinking back, I would have been very obvious to spot. Then maybe they just thought I wanted to go in the same shops as them.
I guess there's that. I'm just saying, maybe you don't
14-year-old like in Lakeland looking into a spoon at an angle.
Seeing them upside down in the spoon, trying to figure out what they're looking at.
Yeah, just like,
Don't do that in America.
No.
Remembering that you are a mixed race man.
I would just say don't do that in general. It probably is a bit weird to just follow people. Although, I wouldn't appreciate being followed. I think everyone likes to feel like they're a spy sometimes. Surely that's fine. Surely we're allowed to indulge in our fantasies of being interesting.
Which this isn't. When Miles Archer gets bang bang, he gets shot.
Yes.
And
bang bang.
You shot me down. Okay, quick anecdote.
All right.
Back in PE in year 5, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So they did like gymnastics, quote unquote, right? And gymnastics was a fucking lark for the teachers.
Gymnastics, another brilliant pub.
Because the teachers would just sit at the side of the room and put loads of mats down. Those mats that are like maybe an inch thick. That are just a little bit softer than carpet.
Yeah.
Right. And they would teach us all the different gymnastic rolls that they could. So you got forward roll, backward roll, teddy bear roll.
Ooh, what's that one?
Oh mate, you were the one where you grab your legs. You grab your legs and then you go around.
Okay, yeah.
And then you got pencil roll, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we would have to come up with a gymnastics routine to a song that incorporated these roles and some other interpretive dance stuff.
And that's why you've got all of the gymnastic routines that go along to the S Club 7 album.
Well, no, because the song that was used for this was that song. Bang, bang.
Oh, really?
You're shot
strange.
My baby shot.
Oh, okay. Because there's a remix.
Yeah, of course. It was a remix. No, it wasn't that really slow.
I was like, that's a really fucking... It's like, could you imagine doing like gymnastics to like Strange Fruit or something?
You got like a 9-year-old on the floor doing a pencil roll, just going over. My baby shot. No, it just wouldn't work.
Just in mime, full like black and white. Very like...
Because there was the points where we would do we would miming the shooting thing. Because because we were so there's the slow bit at the start where it was like bang bang, and that's where we'd act out people getting shot and stuff. Yeah, 9-year-olds, it's all good. And so we kind of like do slow-mo stuff. And then when it goes, that's when we get on the teddy bear rolls, yeah? That's when you've got like...
That's when you start rolling around on the floor.
That's when a whole...
You never see that in professional gymnastics, do you? You don't see the teddy bear roll come back. You don't see the pencil roll. Just like going, like they're doing the going across the big mats, the big square thing. Go for a run up and then just fall onto the floor and just roll along it.
Well, that's what we were doing. To the what was the what was that what was the artist that did that song?
I
don't fucking know. But like, yeah, it was
literally only ever heard it in HMV.
And I heard it during my PE lessons when I was in year 5.
I used to in PE, just whilst we're doing PE anecdotes.
Sure.
I used to be I still can do a what's it called? A front. It's like a handspring, is it? Like when you do a flip where you put your hands on the floor, like a cartwheel, but you're going over your head.
What?
So, like, instead of a cartwheel on the side, a cartwheel forwards.
Oh.
So it's sort of like a flip, but you put your hands down.
Yeah. Like tumbling.
I guess, maybe.
Yeah. I know what
it's
you're
not
about.
like a roll, though. Like, you push off your hands. I think that's why it's called a handspring. Like, you push off your hands and flip over.
Oh, shit, that's cool.
Yeah. And I was, like, one of the only people that could do that, but that was all I could do.
Yeah, but
So every time we had to come up with some sort of, like, circuit, it was just like we sat there for 5 minutes not doing anything, and then I'd just do a handspring. And then I remember the teacher being like, well, that's not really... We know you can do that.
Yeah, but surely everyone else is like that. That's the coolest thing.
No, because that's just all I used to do. So eventually it was just like, he's just doing it again. Fuck off, Jordan. Do you ever think that when people farted in school, all the farts always sounded the same? Because they were all these like desperately trying not to escape farts.
Yeah.
That were just really quick, like, burp. Or just like a burp.
I don't know if I ever really remember all of the noises of farts. I just remembered the embarrassment and shame.
That's what I mean. It was always so shameful, wasn't it? You never wanted to be that person that did the fart.
I never remember. I never remember the sounds. Like I don't really have a library of childhood fart noises because it was never a thing. Like I still kind of find it gross if people just do it all the time, and like especially like one of my flatmates, his noises, like his sound effects for his bodily functions, they're like he could make a sound library where it'd be like the classic, the archetypal like fart sound where it goes
right.
Like he does that. Like he does. He's got that one. He's got the whole library, but they all sound like, I guess, perfect. I don't want to say perfect because I don't like it. It's gross. When he burps, he's like,
can one ever do the perfect fart?
I guess he can. And when he blows his nose, it's like a trumpet. It's like I really wish it was that, because otherwise it's at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't understand how he makes that noise.
Can you make that noise whilst you blow your nose? Because I might start doing that. Just blow my nose and be like. I think you can do it.
So going back to Spade and Archer, bang bang, getting shot down.
Yeah.
Who was it that got shot down? It was
Thursby and
Miles Archer.
Miles.
So he gets shot down. He's dead. And then like the day after, Sam Spade's like, "Hey, can you change the signs on the doors?"
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cold, isn't it?
Yeah, how insensitive.
Day one, business resumes.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy's dead. Let's go.
Especially because the police
more money for me.
Well, yeah, like the police is accusing him of the murder.
Yeah.
So maybe look as if you're a bit sad.
Yeah, he really didn't seem that fussed, did he?
No, he was so nonplussed by the whole thing, especially because he wants to get with his widow.
Yeah. Well, but did he? Because he didn't seem to want to.
It was his widow that wanted him, isn't it?
Yeah, but then also,
you know what
it sounded like he did originally.
I think what it was is that he loves an affair. I reckon he loves an affair.
He just loves the drama, didn't he?
He loves the drama, but he's low key about it. So he was all over his his partner's wife when he was still alive. But now that she's available, he just loved the thrill of the chase. Yeah. You know, he loved the sneaky bits on the side. He loved having a side piece. But now that she's fully available, he doesn't want it anymore.
Can we just talk about like the love between both Sam and Mrs. O'Shaughnessy.
Jordan, I could not say it any clearer.
O'Shaughnessy.
Very well done.
What is that?
I don't fucking know, mate.
It feels like it's so shoehorned in. Why do these people that have just met each other like saying that they love each? Yeah, why?
No, you're O'Shaughnessy. You're not in love with him. You've seen him for like 5 minutes, and like she's
like, I'm certain she's just using him.
Oh yeah,
but then equally, I'm certain he doesn't actually love her. Like, so why is it happening?
I don't know.
Can we just not have this, please?
I guess it kind of ties the two together.
It's bloody 1940s, like, oh, we need to have some sort of romance in the film. No.
I think it paints him as some kind of Lothario, but I don't really think so, because he's just like taking it as it comes.
He's just doing him.
Yeah, he doesn't really care.
No.
So yeah, it's completely unnecessary. Yeah. I agree. I totally agree.
I feel like he just gets out of so many things that it's just like, if he wasn't scripted, no one would be that slick. You know what I mean?
He would have been interviewed by the police properly by that time.
Well, yeah, definitely. The police let him get away with way too much. Yeah. And he can, like, his relationship with the police just confuses me. And the DA, like, he goes into the DA's office and is like, look, I know you want to arrest me, but arrest me or don't. Fuck off. You can't just walk into the district attorney's office, like, after being summoned and being like, yeah, well, I'm just a PI and you have respect for me for some reason, so fuck you.
That's basically what he did, like, because he wasn't happy with how everyone was getting on his dick, and he just kind of took it out, and he was like, yeah, you see this?
Listen here, get off my dick, sir.
And the way that it was explained was a little bit like, they had no complete evidence, and like their story didn't check out, and he was a little bit like, listen, let me do my thing and I'll explain myself afterwards. But anyone else in the world, like, it was clear that because he was a PI and because he knows those people, like, he was getting away with just having a bit more time to do his thing before anyone else got taken in. It was a bit bullshit.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the accents?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on with those accents?
I
don't know. Like she says that she's from New York. Doesn't sound like she's from New York at all. So I've heard this. Maybe it was on a podcast. Maybe it was on a YouTube video. But apparently during that time, there was a thing that is purely bred in Hollywood, this accent, where it was some kind of transatlantic accent, which is a cross between posh British and some kind of posh American.
I was thinking this. I was like, is she English? Or is she not? I don't understand.
That's a thing.
I really can't place it.
That's like purely Hollywood. That doesn't come from anywhere.
Right.
It's purely Hollywood, where it's
That's
like,
interesting.
We want it to be a bit more classy, so people like can understand. They still feel like it's American, but like there's the respect of it being British or like fancy and posh.
There you go. Don't try and fucking say we don't teach you shit.
All right, I've got another big beef that just pissed me off so much. The continuity on 3 separate points. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
At 50 minutes and 29 seconds, the guy talking is in 2 completely different positions. At 1 hour, 20 minutes and 2 seconds, again, the continuity is not correct. They're in 2 different positions. At 1 hour, 33 minutes and 9 seconds, the exact same thing. They surely could have cut it differently.
Yeah.
Surely. Or like, at least there's the people who are employed.
Yeah.
Continuity.
I think there was a lot more continuity issues with films back then compared to now. I mean, there's still loads of continuity issues with films these days, but I actually don't mind it because they're kind of fun to spot.
No, but it was blaringly obvious because, for example, say I'm videoing you, Jordan. Yeah, I'm filming you, and you're talking. You're still talking.
Yeah,
and then the next shot is you still talking in the same position. So it's the same camera, just continuing the line. So let's say the phrase is, and I didn't kill that man. The next thing I did, so there's a pause between those 2 parts, yeah?
Yeah.
So what they've done is they've just cut and then restarted from the next thing I did, but the guy's face isn't in precisely the same position. Just do a fresh take.
What, so does it just look like it's like a jump in the film?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I didn't notice that.
Really?
I gotta say, to be honest, wasn't paying much attention to this film.
Okay.
So right at the end,
when
they're waiting for Sam's secretary to bring the Falcon, they're all just sitting there. The fat man's like just reading a book.
Yeah.
I was like, so I ordered a phone just the other day, and like the anticipation I would feel if I knew that was coming already. Like if I was just like in my house and I'm just waiting for it, like, and it's going to be delivered today, I know for a fact I'll be sitting there like, come on, man, I'm really excited. Like, when is it going to come? Like go, like hear a slight knock and I'll be like going over to the door just to see if like it's been posted or something. But we're talking about the Maltese Falcon, which I think the Fat Man estimated was at its lowest value was $1 million. And this is in the 40s, where obviously that's big money.
Yeah.
Like, and they're just waiting for that to be delivered. As if the Fat Man is literally just chilling, reading a book. Like, as if he isn't, like, losing his shit. He's just, like, been looking for 17 years. Like, finally, he's about to get the thing that he's been looking for that's going to bring him incredible riches, just ridiculous fortune. And he's just sitting there like, well, I suppose now's a good time to just catch up on Dickens.
But, sure, but... First of all, they first met up in that space before they started waiting at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have to wait for a couple of hours to get it all sorted. So he's like absolutely knackered. They're all absolutely knackered. And so they don't have the energy to be pacing around the room like biting their nails and stuff.
I feel like you've got adrenaline going, surely.
Maybe not. I don't think
adrenaline keeps you up.
I don't think the whole time. And furthermore, if you've been on a search for something for 17 years, like I would also be open to the idea that it might not actually be the real thing, or that it might be out of my clutches, or that there's something's going to go wrong, because there must have been plenty of times before where they got so close, Like,
yeah, maybe.
I don't think
that also pissed me off, because he was like really upset about the fact that it wasn't it, and then literally in about 30 seconds. In fact, Mr. Cairo was like, You fucking idiot. Like, it's all your fault. We've been looking for it and it's not the real thing. Fuck. And he actually starts crying.
Yeah.
And then in seconds, literally, he's like, the Fat Man's like, oh, well, I guess we'll just go to Russia and find it because that's where the next lead is or something. It's like, just another year. And Mr. Cairo is now smiling and he's like, I'll come with you.
Yeah, Mr. Cairo is a dickhead.
Mr. Cairo is just a very, very strange character.
Yeah. He was so...
I feel like he was written by like 5 different people that were just doing handovers. Like, they were all going on holiday like consecutively, and it's just like no one really knows what's going on with that character.
I want to go to some bits and bobs.
Yeah, sure.
For everything that we've said about how it's all a little bit back and forth and there's some things that are unnecessary. The pace was there. The pace,
Jordan.
For the film? Yes. I felt like it was, especially the first 20 minutes, how we've seen some films recently that have been like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And the intro is like crazy long. No, within the first 20 minutes, you've got like, there's just cuts and like, there's just cuts straight from one thing to the other.
I don't know. I kind of disagree, because I just feel like the middle chunk of the film was like just nothing. It was just that back and forth of like who's who and what's going on and who do we trust. And I just wasn't really that interested by it. It was all just like sort of like just static conversations in rooms, and then like occasionally someone gets hit.
Yeah, I enjoyed following Sam's story, like what was going on with him. And I guess part of the drama of like who loves who, that pissed me off the most.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed Mr. Gutman and him just being him. I felt like he was easily the best character.
Yeah, he was an interesting character.
And it's the way he talked, and like how the whole, oh, you are indeed an interesting character, or whatever it was that he said about Sam.
I just feel like I don't really feel like there was many stakes. Like, they were just looking for it, and these people that were apparently dangerous didn't really seem that dangerous.
No, I wasn't threatened. I don't feel like. Oh, I mean, of course, I wasn't threatened. Me in my room watching the film, but
No.
like, I don't think anyone was an immediate threat of death, especially what with that little kid doing all of the running around.
Yeah. Well, actually, they made Sam so like on top of his shit that it never really felt like there was a situation that he wouldn't be able to handle.
No.
Because like, there's one point where Mr. Cairo has got a gun to his back, and Sam just turns around, knocks the gun out of his hand, holds on to one of his hands, and then punches him with the other hand, and Cairo is knocked out.
Yeah, martial arts. Yeah.
Oh, 1940s cinema martial arts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Literally, they clasp arms and just stare at each other, and then Sam punches him with the other hand. It's like, why did neither of you do anything with the other hand for so long? We're just staring at each other like, shit, how does he know that I only know how to punch with my left hand?
Yeah, I have no explanation for that. I have no explanation. I just liked being taken on the journey that Sam was going through.
Yeah.
Because he was figuring it out, and that's what's great because we can figure it out at the same time.
Yeah, I suppose there was an element. I don't feel like it was mass amounts because it didn't really seem like there was that much detective work going on other than just talking to people. It didn't really do anything else.
Yeah, but what is detectiving apart from talking to people?
Gathering evidence and
yeah, how do you gather evidence? By talking to people.
Well, yeah, but there's physical evidence as well, not just like what people have said.
That is a good point.
Didn't look at anything about the shooting.
He did get some physical evidence when he woke up after the drunk stupor, when he was drugged by the Gutman and that, and he searched their flat. And he's like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? Looks in the newspaper and sees circled a boat from Hong Kong that he knows that the Maltese Falcon must be coming from. So he's like, I must go find that boat.
Actually, no, yeah, and there was one bit when she said that she, Miss O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy! Oh my God!
It's just...
Are you doing it on purpose?
No, genuinely, I just can't. Miss O'Shaughnessy?
Bridget O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. She says that she came from... like Hong Kong or something like that, and then blah 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 blah. And when she goes into the bathroom, he checks her hat and looks underneath, and it says it was made in Hong Kong. So maybe he was doing that to confirm that that was the truth or something. Which, if that is the case, then yes, that feels like he did some detective work.
No, because he was saying she was saying that she had nothing to do with whatever his face.
Yeah.
What's
Thursby.
the fucking Thursby? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was saying, oh yeah, I got nothing to do with him. He was in Hong Kong, blah, 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 blah. Then he looks inside her hat and sees that it's from Hong Kong.
Oh, I thought she was saying that she came from Hong Kong. And
it wasn't quite at that point, no. It was only later when she met with Gutman and they had their chat where I was like, okay, let's talk.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, that's far too convenient that the hat said made in Hong Kong.
Well, no, because we're getting the vibe that something's fishy.
Yeah, but how comes like that particular? She just bought a hat from like Hong Kong, and he happened to just check that hat, and that was the hat that said that underneath that. You know what I mean?
He's doing his detective stuff. I don't
that
know.
Looks like a Hong Kong hat.
No, because he knows that hats come from places, doesn't he? And
the hat could literally come from anywhere.
No, he's trying to search for clues, right? And she's just gone out the room for a second. Where's he going to look? He's just going to look at some of her stuff. Also, people
just happens the first thing he looks at is the clue that he needs.
Let the film have some magic, I guess.
If you're going to pick up on the tiny little
continuity,
yeah, if you're going to pick up on the tiny continuity issues, then I can be upset that it's far too convenient.
Fair enough. On the subject of hats, everyone has a hat and they look cool.
Yeah, but that's the old days.
I don't know how that's a rebuttal.
That's legit a thing. No, hats were very, very popular, and now they're not anymore.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't making an argument. Or
Kieran,
anything.
hats were a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's cool. Like I'm not disputing.
You're not listening to me,
Jordan. We don't have.
Everyone had a hat.
We don't have to argue, Jordan. I think we have the same point. You're saying everyone had a hat. I'm saying I'm taking that one step further. I'm going. They looked cool. Is that all right? Is that fair?
Oh, I didn't let you finish, did I?
Because your retort was, yeah, of course everyone had a hat. Fucking it was his history, Kieran. Get with the program. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't disputing that they wouldn't have hats or that they would have whatever. Like I'm not saying it was inaccurate that they would all have hats. Hats.
There's a lot of fedoras back then, and I think they were a lot more socially acceptable than they are now.
You know, trilbies and fedoras are like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I think trilbies is like what old jazz people would wear. And fedoras is what dickheads would wear.
I feel like
these
trilby
days.
has more of a curve to it.
Is it?
I think. I might be wrong. I saw an episode of the Big Narstie show, or like a highlight, and he was wearing a fedora. And that was wrong.
No.
I felt very strange.
No.
Yeah.
Because he might have been trying to look like one of them Scar guys from like the 80s or something.
Maybe.
But no, Big Narstie.
No, yeah, strange.
He is gross.
I love Big Narstie.
He's fucking hilarious, but
that's what makes him funny. Is like because his laugh wouldn't sound that gross. Like his laugh is funny because it sounds so gross.
Oh.
It wouldn't sound as gross if he was healthy.
It's just like when he sits down.
So much sweat.
Who's the fat person from? Who's the fat monster from Star Wars? Who does the bounty?
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Actually, that was said in this episode. They said that it feels like they're sitting across from Jabba the Hutt.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's say you were to be someone in this film. Could you tell me who that person would be? And what on earth would you do?
I would be Mr. Cairo.
Okay.
And what I would do is be competent.
Okay.
I'm undecided between Mr. Cairo or Wilmer, because they both kind of serve the same, like, guy with a gun position, don't they?
Well,
Mr. Cairo is like a rank above him, but that's basically what he is.
But also he's got some money, apparently, I think, maybe.
I don't know, like, how much of that money is his.
He's just thirsty for the quest.
He is thirsty for the quest.
And Wilmer, I think, he needs to understand his role.
Oh, sorry. Just going back to the bad dads. That's why I said bad dads,
okay.
because he says he loved him like a son,
but then he was willing to give him
Yeah.
up to the authorities.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
that
understand
is a bad dad.
That is a bad dad.
So sorry, no, but to go on. So I would be Mr. Cairo and be competent. So say, for example, in that situation where he was able to be disarmed by someone who had their back to him whilst he had his gun at point blank.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be happening.
No.
I would make sure that I'm not going to be able to have that done to me. And like, because I really liked how he was like, look, straightforwardly, I want to search everywhere, just see if it's here first. No, like, aggression about it. It was like I quite dug that. I thought he was quite a cool dude.
Yeah.
But then he just lets himself down by being completely shit in any sort of like combat situation. So I'd be Mr. Cairo and maybe just take a couple of like Brazilian jiu-jitsu lessons off of John or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, good shout. Yeah. All right, nice one.
What about you?
I'd be Bridget and
Okay.
not be so pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, she pissed me off because clearly this is a clever woman. Clearly she's like manipulative.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we see enough of that. Like, we get a sense that she is, but we don't really see
as soon as it turns
definitively.
As soon as it turns to Sam and her, and she does the whole.
She
like,
just turns into butter.
Sam, can you help me, please? Have pity on me.
Which is fine if there was also a scene where we saw that actually that was all just like a ruse. You know, like, there's brings to mind, just for an example, I was watching Avengers, just refreshing myself the other day,
Sure.
The first one, and there's a scene where Black Widow is talking to Loki, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
and she's like doing a whole like, how could you do this? Like, all you want is this, and blah blah blah, and then he gives something up basically and then she's like, oh, so that's what you wanted. Like, her face just goes dead, and it's like, oh, it was all a ruse. And it's like, oh, okay, you're not just like this weak person. Like, you were fully like playing him, because that just makes the person seem so much stronger.
Yeah,
you need that extra scene.
And we definitely. Well, I don't think it's like an extra scene.
Yeah,
like, we just need it at the end of the film when she's like, how could you fucking send me to prison? And he's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll wait for you for 20 years or however long. It's bullshit. Like,
just be like, well, no, actually, that sounds kind of shit.
Also, well, no, and secondly, she should be like, well, fuck you. Like, I've been playing you the whole time.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, like I'm just won't let you do this. Like, I'm out.
Yeah,
fuck this shit. I'm out. Who would you bring into the film?
No, you go first.
Now, have I previously brought in Fireman Sam?
We've spoken about Fireman Sam before, but I don't think we've actually brought him in. So yeah, you can.
Okay, good. Nice one. Because I was thinking about someone to bring in, and I was like, well, who is necessary here? Because there's the boat on fire scene, and I think the firefighters, they probably got it down, but you know who else can definitely add to that? Fireman Sam.
Yeah.
Absolute, what a guy. What a guy. And we've definitely spoken about him before, because you mentioned his black and white cat, and I was like, please, that was Postman Pat. Let's
oh,
not.
Shit, yeah. Okay,
So
you're just bringing up my incompetencies again. Thank you.
Sorry, I was just telling you my reference to remembering about it, but of course, yes.
Yeah.
Who would you bring in?
I would bring in Churchill to play the fat man, just
Very
because
good.
I'd like to hear that with his fully.
That sounded a bit more Boris Johnson than it did.
Well, what is Boris Johnson if not just a reincarnation of Churchill?
Well, far more incompetent and less calm than Churchill. I mean, I never met Churchill, so I don't know what he's really like.
Well, I have, and I can tell you they're both the same.
All right, good to know.
We've harnessed the energy of the ancients, and now we're able to speak to the past.
Using a Ouija board. Very good.
I guess it doesn't really change much of the film, but it would just be nice to see him being a little bit more blustery with the way that he's speaking, I guess, and just being a little bit more opulent and...
Can you please define opulent?
Lavish.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I felt like this guy was pretty opulent.
All he did really was he just offered a lot of scotch and cigars. didn't
he
have
had some
like
nice coats though.
Yeah, did he?
I think
They
so.
were just like regular suit jackets.
Oh, sorry. Like my standard is so much lower than yours.
No, I mean, but like it's just a suit jacket, isn't it?
Mr. Cairo was dressed the most dapper.
Yeah,
of
Mr.
everyone.
Cairo looked on point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm annoyed that we didn't get to see anyone's shoes because I reckon they all would have had real nice shoes.
The reason you couldn't see their shoes is because if the camera looked at them, it would have done that loop thing because they'd be so shiny, it would just be like going into their shoe for you. It's like looking into a mirror.
I thought you were going to say like, oh
Do you
yeah.
reckon that's ever an issue? No, because you'd have to be looking straight into it. Ignore me.
But they have to definitely think about mirrors and stuff when they're shooting things.
It's like I'm just thinking about people getting lost inside mirrors in films. Like there's just a mirror in the back of the scene, and if you accidentally look at it, you get stuck, and then you end up in the mirror
Oh
loop.
my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to say like they couldn't film the feet because they're all wearing flip flops or something like that. Maybe they just didn't have a shoe budget. They were on a shoestring budget.
Hey!
Thank you. Now, Jordan, would you stay indoors to watch? What's this fucking film? The Maltese Falcon.
No, I wouldn't. I think it was boring, and yeah, definitely. Like as far as a sort of detective film goes, didn't cook the bacon.
Ah, so you're cooking the bacon.
Yeah, and you're doing the beans.
I'm doing the beans. Very nice. I thought when I finished watching it, I was like, actually, that wasn't half bad. Maybe it's because it was a higher standard than some of the films that we've seen from this era. But now talking about it and realizing how uncohesive, I guess, a bunch of it was, I'm on the fence. I do like the fence. I'm thinking, okay, it's on Channel 5. It's a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Watch it and go for it. Be invested. I think like there's some fun stuff going on, but some of the acting and like the continuity stuff just pissed me off properly. I'm gonna say outdoors.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
The one thing this film
it.
had going for it is it's not 3 hours and 45 minutes long.
And that's a breath of fresh air for us.
Yeah, that was nice. But no, don't watch it.
Okay. So,
what are we watching next week?
Next week we're going to be watching Paths of Glory.
Paths of Glory.
Is that a song?
Nope.
But it sounds like
it's
going to
be.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wait for my next hot mixtape.
In fact, it sounds very patriotic, and I quite like it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a war-y thing.
I was imagining
we can do the prediction when we do the prediction in the episode.
Yes, and again, I'm going to mention the 15-second pitch thing because I don't know if I'm going to mention this in the outro.
Yes,
we might do. So if you hear this like 3 times in one episode, well, I guess deal with it. So what I'm saying,
fucking some sass coming from KP over here.
Spicy, yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you didn't like my 15-second pitch, then you can send your own 15-second pitch.
Or even if you did like your 15-second pitch,
you can just
feel
be like,
maybe you can improve upon it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Or just take it from a different angle.
Sure, you can actually make yours 15 seconds. You can practice it. Just record it on your voice memos on your phone.
Yeah.
And send it to this email address.
250reasons@gmail.com. It's the Gmail.
It's, yeah, you're not going to change because you're too stubborn, and I'm just going to have to do my homework. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd have done that from the start, we would have already sorted it.
Fuck's sake.
Just saying.
Okay, fine. All right, on that lovely note, we will...
Whoa.
Okay.
Paths of Glory is on Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch it before next week, you can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
if you've got Amazon Prime.
Nice one. Okay, bye.
Bye. So, that's the end of the podcast. I hope you very much enjoyed that. We've got a lot more material coming up in the few weeks to come. And then it's all ending, I'm afraid. No, I'm only joking. It's not actually.
Oh, you got me there.
So, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 250 Reasons. Or you can listen to us on your podcatcher that you've used to listen to us right now. You can email us as well at 250reasons@gmail.com.
Okay, fine.
Have a bloody good one.